What is the best education or real education? Speaking primarily to students, right, to young people who are starting off on their educational paths, on their life careers. When we are young, and especially when we are young and we are forming our own views, deciding what our careers are going to be, whether we're going to get married, have children, we all hopefully are ambitious and we want to live the best life that we possibly can. Of course, that's a hugely complex undertaking, right? But we want our lives to be significant and we want to live in a culture, right, more broadly, that enables ourselves and other people to put together meaningful and significant lives. And we're a smart species. We don't just act on automatic pilot or instincts the way many animal species do. We think about things, we make decisions. If we don't like the direction our life is going, we can learn from our mistakes and go in another direction. But the point of education, particularly higher education, is for us to spend some time grappling with what the best thinkers all across history have had to say about what it is to live a good life, the best possible life, what opportunities, right, one can and should consider pursuing, what kind of system we should all strive to be constructing so that as many people as possible can do so. And again, this is an enormously, right, complex set of issues. We need to learn some economics, politics, something about religion, and I would certainly argue philosophy rather as a philosopher. History is extremely important, sciences and technology, and so on. So it's an enormous, right, amount of things that we need to learn. So how do we do this? Life is short, and to some extent we are all impatient also, and we want to get on with our lives. Well, the first thing, though, I would say is this: take your time. The issues are difficult. There are many things to think about. Do not be in too great a rush to commit to any one philosophy, any one political theory, and so on. There are any number of political theories and philosophical theories that when you're a young person, you hear them for the first time, they make kind of sense. And in many cases, there's a temptation for people just to jump into one way of looking at things and commit themselves totally and to stop thinking about the issues anymore. That's a danger. And one of course, the problems that people have is if they haven't had a full education yet, they're not aware of the alternatives, and so it's very easy just to choose one, and it's not necessarily the best one, right, or the right one. So take your time, give many different alternatives a chance, try them out, and then see which one in your judgment has the best explanation for what you think your life is about and what society's direction, right, should be. Second thing is be aware that people who are your professors, the intellectuals whom you are reading and hearing lectures from and so forth, on all of these very difficult, complex issues, they disagree with each other. Because the issues are complex, there are many vigorous, heated debates on almost all major issues in economics, philosophy, religion, politics, right, and so on, and so forth. So what this should point out to you is the importance of, since these are smart, educated people, being willing to listen to all of them. And if you find that you are only hearing from any given professor, right, one side of an argument, that may be a very good argument. Listen respectfully to the professor, right, or the person who wrote the book, right, and so forth. But be aware that there are other perspectives out there. And if you're not getting them from your professors on an issue that you know is complex and about which there is controversy, then go out of your way to show some initiative to try to find what the other alternatives are. There are other alternatives. They may be worse, they may be better, but you should know them, right, before you make up your own mind. What this then involves is a project, it's a very difficult project of self-educating yourself so that you know the landscape on any given issue before you make up your mind. There's this position and there's this position. Here's the arguments for this one. Here are the arguments for this one. This one criticizes this position. This one criticizes that position. Maybe there's a third position. Work it all out before you make up your mind. Become informed, but then, of course, trust your own judgment. Having looked at both sides or all sides of an argument, go with your best judgment and have a belief. But of course, if you come along with another argument that's good against your position, be willing to change your mind. So keep an open mind as you continue to learn and grow. Your education will not stop when you finish university. It hopefully will go on for the course of your life. You will learn things as you get older. Better ideas will come along, and trust your judgment and continue to work on the skillfulness, right, with which you can process information and consider arguments and counter arguments. That will be the best education. That will best position you for putting together the most fruitful life you possibly can, and that will make you the kind of citizen, right, who can vote and argue for the kinds of policies that will make it possible for a society in which many people can do the same thing.